why? You should subscribe to the Monaresclub. Because the principal of Saiyans told you to, idiot. Bye.
Hey, what's good, guys? This is James bringing you another deck profile for the Monaresclub here at youtube.com. Got a little bit of a different format going here, so let me know if you guys like this one better or worse than the way I normally do deck profiles and just trying to switch things up. Anyway, without further ado, I've been really excited to play this Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 deck ever since it got spoiled. It's a mono blue android deck, or a blue green android deck. And as you all know, I love androids. I think they're just the coolest, and they're just some of my favorite characters in the show, and some of my favorite decks to play in the game as well. So, of course, I had to dive headlong into this one. This one's a little bit trickier to build. It took me a little while to settle on a list that I was really comfortable with, but I finally gotten one that I've been getting a good little win streak with down at the local store, and doing pretty well with, so I'm comfortable bringing you my deck profile for this. So this is Gamma 1 and 2, so they have a permanent. You can't use non-Red Ribbon Army skills to place cards in your energy, which means you can't ramp using non-archetype skills, essentially. They have an auto on swing, draw 1, and then they can awaken when you're at 4 or less, or if you have a unison in play with cost 2. And then in which case you go down to 6, untap 1, and draw 1. On the back, they have the same permanent. You can only use Red Ribbon skills to place cards in your energy. They have an auto. Whenever you play a card from your energy, you can then replace it with the top card of your deck in rest mode. And then they have an auto at the end of your turn. You add 3 blue androids from your energy to your hand, draw 1, and then place up to 3 blue androids from your hand in your energy. So this is essentially like, people have been calling it like SS3, the old SS3 leader, where you get 3 energy back every turn. It's really crazy. I'm building this a little bit more aggressively than I think a lot of people have been. I'm a lot more of a mid-range aggro-leaning player, so I really like being able to beat down when the opportunity presents itself, so that's how I've been running this leader. So it's not super grindy, but I do have some late game options. But yeah, you kind of use your energy as a second hand, kind of like Android 16 does, which is just really neat, and I've enjoyed playing Android 16 a lot, and I think these guys are really nifty and just really strong in general. So let's go into the deck. So I've got 4 of the Unison, Android 17 and 18 teaming up. Some people are playing Hit. I think this Unison's really, really good. It's just, it has an auto once per turn. When a player attacks, you combo with up to 1 blue card from your drop area with 5k combo power, and then you add a marker to this card. So essentially this gains 2 markers every turn cycle, because you can gain 1 on the opponent's turn and 1 on your turn. So which means it's essentially a 2-cost Unison that plus 2s, which is really, really hard to kill. And then its ability to activate main, -4. This card gets plus 10k power and dual attack for the turn. It can turn into a 25k dual attacker incredibly early to put on a lot of pressure. 25k is a huge number. It means your opponent has to super combo and throw something else on top of it in order to get out of the attack, and they have to do that twice. So this is really good at just providing a lot of pressure, or to help take out your opponent's Unison, and they stay on board even afterward, because you can gain a marker the same turn you activate this, and then after they live, they can gain another marker on the opponent's turn. So they're just really, really tanky. They're really good for this kind of mid-range style deck, where you just want to flip the switch and beat down at the drop of a hat, which this has just been perfect for. I think Hit's just a little too squishy. He plus 1s and he draws a card, but then he dies a lot of the time, has been my issue with him. Okay, so we got 4 of the check land. So these guys are a blue-green that negates energy exhaust if this is your leader. And then they also have deflect and dual attack, which is a crazy combination of words to have for a 20k. On auto, when you play them, you can choose one of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost equal to or greater than their energy and place it at the bottom of the owner's deck. So that means you can get those Sin Shenrons out of there, you can get UI Gokus out of there, just anything that's coming down early. Really, really good removal. And you can play it for 2, limit 1, a blue and a green, from your energy or hand. And remember, if you're on the backside, then you get to re-ramp, kind of like the Android 16 leader. So incredibly good card, just a backbone card of the deck, because it gives you free green access, as well as just a great pressure option with a 20k dual attacker with removal stable to it. Fantastic card. Android 17 Rebellious Will and Android 18 Rebellious Will. These guys both do pretty similar things. Android 17, I'm playing 4 of him and 3 of the Android 18, because I think the barrier is just really, really good on the Android 17. I thought it was worse than the crit at first, but just experiencing playing with this card, the barrier makes such a difference. These guys live forever. They're so hard to get rid of. And the Android 18 has crit. Both of them let you play them limit 1 for a blue from your energy, and then again you re-ramp off the top of your deck with the leader. And then both of them say after you play them from your energy, you can dig 5, place up to 1 blue android from among them in your energy and rest mode, and then bottom deck an energy. So they can fix your energy as well. These are also incredibly useful because they can dig for like your super combo, because our super combo is a blue android, so you can put that in your energy and then pick it up with your leader at the end of the turn. Very, very, very good. The other thing with these guys is that they have on their limit 1, so with your leader, you only get the energy back if you successfully play a card from your energy. So if it gets placed in the drop area instead, you don't get the energy back. But what these guys all say is you can play this card from the energy. So it's really important that when you activate these, you announce your counter window 1. If your opponent has a counter in counter window 1, you can just say, okay, I'm not going to play them, and then you don't lose your energy. And if they don't play a counter in counter window 1, that means you're guaranteed going to get to play them and at least proc the auto to get your energy back. So something really important to note there. These are just the backbone of the deck. It's just a 15k beater for 1 with upside. It's just incredible value, just incredible stuff. Great energy sinks as well, because we're going to want to use our energy on our own turn as much as possible to get value out of our leader. And it's basically like drawing a card. If you get to play these out of your energy, you're just going up in card advantage. It's just incredible. Great cards. Boss monster of the deck is Cell. We're playing 4 because the game plan of the deck is on turn 4, plus you're basically always just jamming this, and then making your opponent deal with it every turn, and then you get 3 energy back, so it's just really, really good. He's a deflect dual attack. Auto, I don't remember exactly how all of it's worded. So he's played from your energy, you choose all of your opponent's battle cards, place them at the bottom of the owner's deck. So it's just a board wipe, because all of the boss monsters come stable to board wipes nowadays. Auto, once per turn, if this card's in a battle, when your opponent activates a counterattack skill, they have to bottom deck 1 card from their hand, which means if they're trying to negate this, they're going to go down in card advantage right after getting their board wiped. So even if they want to like try and floodgate you out with a violent raise, they have to pitch 1 for the violent raise and 1 for this. And you can play it from your energy for a blue, a green, and 2. And when you do that, he gains dual attack. So he's essentially a dual attack, or he gains double strike. He's a dual attack, double strike that punishes your opponent for negating his attack, and he's a board wipe for 4. And he's got deflect, and he gets around charismatic villain. Just phenomenal card. I could not ask for any more from this, and you got to play 4 of this guy. He's way too good. All right, getting into the rest of the kind of the engine pieces of the deck. So I've got 4 Android 13 Inorganic Horror. I was playing the Draw Apes before. I thought they were good, but I just didn't like how it forces you to make plays sometimes when you ramp them off the top with your leader randomly that you would otherwise not want to make. Like you can use these guys to fix your energy, but then it kind of forces you into making plays that you would otherwise not always make. So I don't really like doing that if you think it's something that a good opponent can really take advantage of. So I didn't like that. So these guys don't provide as hard of card advantage, but they're still card advantage because they come in and they replace themselves. They dig 5 for a Red Ribbon Army card, put it into your hand. They have a Union Absorb ability. I don't have the Android 13 in the list. I've messed around with it. I think it's okay. I just don't really have a slot where I'd want to put it in. But the Android 13 is okay if you want to use this as an energy sink later in the game. But I'm just using him as a cantrip that replaces himself, and then he's a blue android that if he goes off the top from our deck, it's plus. It's just really good. Then for our consistency, we still have more cantrips. These guys are 15k or 10k for 2 that you're never going to ever play. You can activate main, limit 1, discard them from your hand, dig 5 for either your Unison or a Red Ribbon card with cost 3 or less, so they can find themselves, or they help you like consistently find your Unison or this or one of your energy fixers. It's just makes the deck buttery smooth. And then they set themselves up in the drop area automatically to make sure you always have a 5k for your Unison to combo off with. Very, very, very good cards. For the Floodgate, this guy's a little sussy just because he's so easy to deal with now by being a 15k for 2, but he's good. If you're against red, you'll side out 1 or 2 of these just because they're a little bit more vulnerable to like a Resolve Renewed, but otherwise very solid card. It's a topo for the deck, and we get free energy every turn. And then 4 of Android 18, Let the Battle Begin. I generally look for one of these in the mulligan if I'm against a deck where these are going to be effective, because on turn 2, if you awaken with a unison, you get 1 energy back, and then you can use this, and this is really good at defending your unison for a turn, because they're vulnerable for like the very first turn they come out, and then they just start running away with the game. So yeah, you can awaken, get an energy back, and then if they try and play any dual attackers or anything, you can bottom deck them with this, and then also get a blocker to defend your guy with. So these are just absolutely stupid good in so many matchups. You got to play 4. All right, super combo, Android 18, Bionic Blitz. I messed around with a couple of them. A couple different super combos. You have 3 different options for this deck. You have the one that untaps, which I feel like the deck already untaps enough. The Android 8 was okay, but I felt like I get stuck at 5 or 6 life a lot of the game, and these guys are just always online. They can be a little medium in some matchups, but they're always online. They're really nice for the more aggressive slant that I like with this deck. You can use these to pressure your opponent more with like your 15Ks and stuff. And then they also let you play this guy, which is 3 of the Android 16 Steadfast Comeback, so they set up a rival for him really nicely. This guy's just crazy good. He's got a ton of different keywords, dual attack, blocker, revenge. You can arrival him for 2, and then if you combo with him or arrival him, your opponent has to discard 1. So if you arrival him off of this, they're essentially losing 2 cards. It's a really good exchange, and it even works if you combo with him, which is part of why I like him so much in the deck, because you can also use him defensively. Even if you don't feel like committing to an arrival, you can still just combo for 1 for a 5k and make your opponent discard 1. So it's a good little energy sink no matter which way you turn it there. Just a very strong, solid card. Extra cards, we've got 4 Beerus Destroys. This card's been an MVP for me. We get energy back every turn, and this just lets us turn that into pseudo super combos as well as removal. You can also use it offensively if you want to use it as an energy sink to kill your opponent's battle cards and then, you know, get free combo power. It's just been really good for me. You could go down to 3. I am only playing 3 Sensu Bean in the main, so you could maybe switch the ratio on this. I think that's neither here nor there. This has just been so good to me, and I almost always want to see multiples, whereas the Sensu Beans are generally I'm only using to either close out the game with like a cell or to bridge the early turns in the game against like red, because your topos are a little less effective. I do side the 4th one of these though, so I would play 8 of these in the main and the side between the 2 of them, but this is just the ratio I've been happy with. And then 3 Child's Army Reinforcements rounding out the extra cards. This is just the best negate for the deck probably. You don't really need the energy management from Dimension Magic. You do go down to 6 instead of 5, which is a little clunky with this, because you do have to be at 5 to free play this, but if your opponent turns it on for you, it's great. But I've also hard cast this a lot, just because you get 3 energy for free every turn, so you can just hard cast this and make blockers and stuff, and force your opponent to away from your unison, which is generally how they're not letting you awaken, or get fully awakened, I guess. The rest of the main deck, we got 1 Baby Hatch, because it's just the best blue secret rare. Why would you not play blue Baby Hatch? I saw some people playing the Kibito Kaibu. I don't have that one, but also I think this card's just snapped in half, so why wouldn't you play it? 1 Android 17, Turning the Tide. This card is sneaky good in the deck. I've won a lot of games off the back of this. Like I said, I'm not really trying to play a control deck with this. I'm trying to play more of a mid-range deck, but this gives you a lot more, this gives you just like a perfect end game if your opponent's stalling you out. Because you can charge this whenever you want, and then once you get awakened on turn 6, if it looks like it's going into turn 7, you just add this to your hand, and then off of your leader skill, and then on the next turn you play it, and then you win the game. You're going to have a bunch of these androids in play, especially like these really sticky barrier ones, the barrier Android 17s. So these can just sit and play forever, and then you just have a bunch of free pressure off of Android 17. So this is just really good. It's just like a free one of, essentially, because yeah, you just can slap it in your energy if it's dead in the matchup, and then just pick it up if you need it. I've won quite a number of games just going like Baby Hatch their turn 6 into Turning the Tide on turn 7. You know, the classic blue gambit there. Side deck, I have this built for pre-side best of 1, because that's what we do with our locals. So you might want some of these cards in the main deck if you're playing best of 3. Like I've got 3 Dirty Bursts in the side. You probably want to main a couple of these in best of 3, just because they're so good in the format against a lot of different matchups. But right now I just like having them in the side, just for like I said, for pre-side. It's just good in so many scenarios. SS Go Tank's Absolute Unison. is really clutch for dealing with Trunks Cheetah specifically, because he gets around barrier stuff, and anything that you expect to have like the slug engine, it gets around barrier. It gets 2 things out, and it's a dual attacker, so you can pop him out. You can get a ton of pressure going because you can like minus your android unison, swing, play this, pop 2 barrier cards, swing. It's just so much pressure. 2 God Sealing technique. You can't use this if you use the leader skill, because I did forget to mention this, but if you use the android pick up 3 energy skill, you can't use non-android skills with cost 7 or less until your next turn, which is why the only thing that works out of archetype is Baby Hatch during the opponent's turn and extra cards. But Trunks is really important because it can stop floodgates aggressively. So if you're against a really slow deck, you can use this on your turn to stop like Topos and Oceanuses from coming into play. But it's also really important against Cell, because this stops the turn 5 play of the Cell. You just decline to use your leader effect, and then just leave up the Trunks, and they can't drop your hand. It's not super great, but it's like the best answer the deck has that I've found. One absolute release ball. This is another anti-floodgate card. So against decks that are extra stally, you can bring this in. It's just been incredibly useful to me. 1 Mafuba, because again, infinite energy. This is great against anything that's relying on a big boss monster to close out the game. Pretty decent in the mirror against like U7 and stuff too. Extra Sensu Bean for the aggro mirror, or not mirror, but the aggro matchup. 2 Android 18 Never Ending Energy. These just come into play, draw 2, so these are really good against hand control. I'm hesitant to play Dabura because you can't really do Dabura if you want to get your energy back with the leader, so you're kind of giving up cards just to get cards. If your opponent makes you discard, it's not very good. So this is kind of like your best slot. You could do Drives in this slot too, but I just like that this is a blue android, so you never have to worry about ramping and playing around your own top deck. 1 Bad Omen. I could maybe move this up to 2. This has been pretty good. This is just for the really stally decks, just to have an extra cheesy little win con, so you can just kind of put a bunch of resources into getting them down to 1, and then you can drop this. Very good. I could see playing another one of this. This has been really good. Then 2 East Kais. These are kind of a filler slot, but they're just really solid in a lot of matchups. Anything that's looking to interact on your turn. This could maybe become another Bad Omen and maybe something else, but they've been okay. They just come into play and draw a card, worst case, and they're a nice little energy sink. But yeah, that's the deck, guys. It's really fun. It's kind of straightforward. You just kind of play dudes from your energy every turn, starting on turn 3 or turn 2, and then just beat your opponent down with cells and barrier guys and crit guys. But I've been having a lot of fun with it. It's nice that it can play kind of a control game or a mid-range beatdown game. It plays a lot into my strengths, I feel like, so I've been having a lot of fun with it. Let me know if you guys have any comments or questions down below. I love hearing from you guys and answering your questions, or if you have any suggestions for the side deck or anything like that, let me know. Until then, make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.